Salute to Knicks Nation, CP the Fanchise here. You know, the fall season is here, and with that, we are very busy. We might have school, we might have work, you might have the kids in school that you have to deal with, and most importantly, the Knicks season is coming quickly. So with that, you might not have time to do certain things like go to the grocery store or prepare a full-blown meal for dinner. That's why I want to tell you about Factor, the sponsor of today's video. Factor delivers fresh, never frozen, dietitian approved meals right to your doorstep. Their team of gourmet chefs prepares each meal using ingredients with integrity to make sure you feel your best all day long. And the selection is incredible. They have over 34 weekly flavor-packed, fresh, never frozen meals ready to eat in 2 minutes. Just put it in the microwave, heat it up, and you're good to go. Some of the ones I've tried are the chicken Alfredo pasta and the chili cilantro salmon, and they are banging, trust me. You're getting high quality meal right to your front door. Pop it in the microwave and be ready to sit there and watch the game by tip-off and obviously watch KnicksFanTV afterwards. And the thing I love most about it is that they have different options for your dietary needs. So you can still eat clean, still get the nutrition that you need, all while saving time on cleanup, on prep, on cooking, and all that tedious stuff that we're just running out of time here. So head over to factor75.com and use promo code KFTV50 to get 50% off your first box. Once again, factor75.com and use promo code KFTV50 to get 50% off your first box. You can also click on the link in the video description, and trust me, you will not be disappointed. All right, here we go. Salute to Knicks Nation on this Sunday night. We are just 2 days away from the start of Knicks training camp. So with that, we want to welcome you guys to KFTV's training camp tip-off. We're going to get you ready for this Knicks season, man. We are just 2 days away from start of practice, and then the Knicks tip off in the preseason against the Boston Celtics on October 9th, man. So let's get into it. CP the Fanchise here, Alex Rataros on the other side. Tonight's guest to kick things off, there's nobody better than our guy. He covers the Knicks for SNY, man. He's all over the map, man. You can catch him on the putback with Ian Begley. You can catch him on Honda Sports Night. You can catch him on SNY.TV. Our guy, Ian Begley, is in the building. Hit that like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. Another fire edition of KFTV Live, man. Training camp tip-off. Let's go. Let's get it going. All right. Here we are. Salute to everybody in the chat. Yes, absolutely.
Got the legend,
Let's talk
Ian
about it.
Begley, with us, man.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, man. Let me just get my session recorded here.
Recording in progress.
So we gotta get right to business, man. First and foremost, Ian, happy Sunday, man. Glad to finally connect with you.
Hey,
How you feeling?
so happy to be here. So happy to be here, guys. And look, I thought after the baseball season, we might have an exciting football year in New York. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. So maybe basketball could save the day for New York sports fans right now. We'll see.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure at all. It's pretty dark for baseball. It's looking bleak for football, even though the Jets are putting up a fight right now on Sunday Night Football. But on to these Knicks, maybe about a couple weeks ago, I think the optimism was a little bit higher than normal, given the uncertainty in the East. And then this week was a tough week, man. You had Damian Lillard going to the Bucks, no Miami, goes to the Bucks, and then Jrue Holiday, who some fans wanted, ends up going to the Celtics as a result. Start with the Holiday trade, man. What did you think about how that went down?
Well, look, what the Celtics gave up for Holiday, I don't think the Knicks right now could have been justified giving up that much for Jrue Holiday based on where they are in the team building process. But what hurt is he goes to Boston, right? And CP, you said it. Milwaukee making a big move earlier in the week, Damian Lillard, and now on paper at least, entering training camp, it seems like those two, Milwaukee, Boston, are head and shoulders above everybody else in the East. And, if it was one season, all right, you chalk it up to those teams being better. But if you look at Giannis and Damian Lillard, I think they're going to be together for at least 2 years. And then with Jrue Holiday, anybody trading for him was going to do so with the idea of extending him. So he's going to be in Boston for what we think was several years in the future. So these teams are strong today, and it seems like they're going to be as strong down the road here. And that, I think, is a little bit troubling if you're the Knicks and you're trying to see this thing through.
Yeah, it's tough that two of the top teams in the East just got better, you would think, at least on paper. But I agree with you here. I felt like where the Knicks were or are at the moment, obviously Holiday's market was going to be quite competitive. You have to think he was going to be competitive, a guy of his stature. I just felt like it wasn't the right time for the Knicks to go after a guy like that. In my opinion, they should first try to get that top tier 1A guy. Then you go and get a Jrue Holiday when you feel like he's the final piece to the puzzle. That's what the Milwaukee Bucks did with Jrue Holiday just a couple of years ago to win that NBA championship. But there's some in the fan base that say the organization's sitting on the assets. What are we doing? Another team right now in our division has improved. What do you say to that side of the fan base that's saying, Leon's being a little gun shy here?
You know what? You look at Milwaukee and Boston, if you think to yourself that, they're going to be there this year, they're going to be there next year, and maybe even the year after that, then I could see how you're upset if you're a Knicks fan tonight after the events of the past week. And particularly, I'll add this, like the Giannis Antetokounmpo stuff, I was writing it in June about teams keeping an eye on this situation. He comes out publicly, and we all know what he said, right? He challenged basically Milwaukee to put a championship team around him. So the idea that they trade for Lillard, obviously that lessens the odds of Antetokounmpo leaving. And if he's there for beyond this contract, Lillard's there. It just is tough. It's tough. I can understand why the Knicks fan out there that says, why are we sitting on our hands every time somebody becomes available? I can understand that. The thing is, who's coming up next? And what's the big swing? That's what I always say. You're going to judge this regime, Leon Rose, everybody else, on the big move. What is it? Joel Embiid? I don't know if Daryl Morey would trade Joel Embiid to New York if Embiid demanded a trade. Is it Donovan Mitchell? And then what does the roster look like? So, yeah, you judge them on the big swing. I can see why there's frustration, why it hasn't happened already. Although you look at the price tag for Jrue Holiday, that is a hefty price.
Yeah.
For a player who is, in his early 30s, mid 30s, it's a tough price to pay.
I said after the Lillard trade that Boston was the right spot for Holiday. Just looking at the NBA as an objective person. But were the Knicks, do you know if the Knicks made any offers? How serious were they in terms of going after Holiday?
I know that they expressed interest. I know they were interested. I think they talked to Portland. I didn't get the sense in just asking around today that they were going to go anywhere near what Boston ended up getting him for. And I think that they felt going into the weekend that they, were in the mix there with the Clippers and Boston. And I think maybe Miami, even with all the stuff that had happened with Portland, I think they were still in there. The Knicks felt they were in there, but I don't think they were going to come anywhere near that Boston offer is the sense that I got today.
Ian, do you have any idea of what that trade would have looked like since the Knicks were in conversation with Portland? Like, was RJ involved? Quickly? Do you have any idea of those parameters?
I did not. Yeah, I didn't on this one. I did not get specifics on who was brought up, who Portland would have wanted. It was a tricky trade, making the math work for the Knicks. If you don't have Barrett or Randall in it, I couldn't see them sending Randall out in a deal like this, and it wouldn't make sense to send Barrett out in a deal like this. So you'd have to get a little creative. But I didn't get specifics on the players. The thing that I had heard, not from the Knicks, but from another team that was kind of poking around, was that the Knicks were willing to offer multiple firsts, 2 firsts. I don't know if they were going to go 3, but nowhere near the package that landed Holiday in Boston, which, as we all know, was pretty big.
Absolutely, it was steep. And for me, I said on the last show with John Schmelk that we had, I was okay with not moving for Jrue Holiday just because we have a plethora of guards already. I don't know what that was going to look like if you add Holiday to the rotation. And then looking at his playoff numbers, they aren't great. I know what he offers defensively during the playoffs. I know he's a great two-way player during the regular season, but for the Knicks, in my opinion, for a team that struggled offensively, I don't know why you would want to add someone of a similar skill set to what we already have on the team when you don't have to move assets for when you already have Grimes or Quickley, who are both good defenders. And I'm just looking at like what those guys develop. That was just my opinion on the matter.
Yeah, I mean, I could see the argument both ways. I think the risk, just looking at it objectively, is like if you keep passing up on players who become available, who's to say that the next opportunity is better? Who's to say that that next opportunity, just because you want to land that player, you're going to be able to land them? It's risky, right? It's risky to pass up on these deals, and I am sure that they have a big picture move in mind, but if it's Embiid, there's a lot of risk there, ways that it could go sideways. I wouldn't have just looking at this thing objectively, looking around the league. If they had spent what Boston spent, a little under what Boston spent, and gotten Jrue Holiday, I could see how it would make sense for them, even though you're going to extend him and he's older. It seemed to me like a move that made sense in some respects for this team.
Well, once again, this is the KFTV Training Camp tip-off. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that like button, hit that share button, subscribe to the channel. CP the Fanchise, Alex Retards on the ones and twos. Special guest, Knicks insider Ian Begley of SNY. Our guy Ian is in the building. Training camp starts tomorrow. We're getting you guys ready for it, man. Al, go ahead with your follow-up.
Yeah, so Ian, now that Jrue Holiday's passed, you talked about Embiid. You said it would be difficult to see Daryl Morey trade Embiid to a divisional rival. So what is the next move for the Knicks if it's not Embiid, or is it Embiid?
Yeah, I don't want to sit here and rule it out, right? I just know from conversations over the summer that Daryl Morey, like if all things were equal, I don't think he's sending him to New York now. Could the Knicks put together a monster package that he can't refuse? Maybe. Is he the guy even kind of signing off on that move if you get to the point in Philly where Joel Embiid wants out? Who knows? But if it is Morey and if all things are equal, I just can't see him sending his top player to New York, given all the circumstances. With regards to what's next, I mean, Donovan Mitchell, we know he's not extending in Cleveland. So that's certainly something to keep an eye on, to see where things go in Cleveland. And outside of that immediate name, I think you always look at extension eligible rookies, right? And who reaches an extension with their team, who doesn't, the financial situation of that team. One of the interesting ones for me, I think Minnesota is gonna pay him, but Jalen McDaniels up in Minnesota, they have a lot of money committed to Karl Towns, a lot of money committed to Rudy Gobert, and Anthony Edwards is going to come in max money.
And Nas Reed, they gave Nas Reed money too.
They paid Nas Reed. So how much can you really give McDaniels? Is he going to be satisfied with what you can offer him? That's the kind of thing that I would look at if I'm a team that's like has enough to make a big trade. That's the kind of complimentary player that could really help you win games if things don't go well in those extension talks.
In terms of Spider, I'm thinking about Miami, right? Like, they just got spurned twice in 1 week, losing two of their top targets. You would think they're top targets. I wonder if they pivot over to Cleveland and try to get Spider in there because, you can never count them out. You look at what they did last year. It's a very commendable job. But to do that 2 years in a row or to think that they have something sustainable with a fresh new young core with Jovic and Jaquez and all these guys, I wonder if they pivot to Spider.
Also, CP, I would not be surprised if they made a strong run at Embiid if it comes to fruition where Embiid becomes available. I think he and Jimmy Butler have a strong affinity for each other. So I could easily see the Heat being aggressive if you got to that point with Embiid. But yeah, Miami's always going to be lurking. The thing that I don't understand, just going to go on a little tangent here as an aside.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Like the Knicks fan who is like killing Miami for not getting the players that they were going after, killing them for their offseason. But Miami is just coming off an incredible run where they beat the Knicks. I just don't know why you would look down on what the Heat do or don't do in an offseason where they're coming off beating you in the playoffs. That's just me. right? That's just me. It just that's one thing I saw today where I didn't get it.
We're looking for those small little wins. You know, I think Game 6 really stung us, man. Really insulted us a little bit. We're looking for those wins. So to see Joe Cronin go off at that haul that Miami couldn't come close to giving them, and then they lose Jrue Holiday. They not only lose Dame, they lose Jrue Holiday. It was a little win for the Knicks fan. They want to take a little win from that. You know,
That's fair.
Also, you have the whole, Pat Riley always gets his guy. He didn't get Kevin Durant, didn't get Spider, didn't get Bradley Beal, didn't get Dame. Now no Jrue Holiday. Just, as that guy who's happy that Miami didn't get any of these people.
Yeah,
I just want to rub it in a little bit.
I get it.
Ian, do you think with Brunson here, do you think that's changed the organization's view in terms of a Spider Mitchell pursuit? Like, do you think that would kind of take their feet off the gas a little bit, or is he still a target of theirs based on what you've experienced?
Yeah, I think look at what happened right after they signed Brunson. They were still heavily in on Mitchell, and I haven't heard anything that leads me to believe that kind of pairing they would shy away from at all. So I would assume that they still feel the same way about Donovan, where they would make an aggressive offer. And yeah, just all the tea leaves and the whispers around things. It seems to me like if he's not signing the extension, if Cleveland is shaky, that's just something you keep an eye on. To answer your question, though, no, I haven't heard anything that leads me to believe anything else other than they'd be comfortable with Donovan Mitchell, Jalen Brunson, and whoever else ends up on the roster in that kind of a deal.
And as we look at the rest of the guards on this team who are on this roster, I think that's one of the key question marks as we go into training camp and into the season. You have a bevy of guards now. Brunson is a constant. He's a mainstay. But you look at Quickley, RJ, you have Grimes, and now you have DiVincenzo into the mix. Josh Hart, you have to figure he's going to be playing between the 3 and the 4, maybe some 2 at times. How do you see that guard rotation kind of playing out, especially with the addition of DiVincenzo?
Well, he's going to get minutes, right? They're not signing him to play him, under 20 minutes a night. So I think if he's healthy and he's performing, he's going to see the floor. And then, the rest of it is a tough decision for Tom Thibodeau to make. And you know how it is, guys. Like, if you're winning, nobody cares about the 11th guy who's not seeing time because you're winning games. If you're not winning, if you're struggling, everybody's going to be questioning the rotation decisions. Who's not
every
playing,
night
playing. Yeah, and so depth is great if you're winning, but depth is a problem for the head coach when the team struggles, and particularly with those closing lineups. If you're closing well and you're executing late in the game, everybody is happy. But if that doesn't happen, you guys know the questions will come. But I think DiVincenzo is going to get minutes. Josh Hart, I believe, coming into camp, he would be the backup for. I think Thibodeau is comfortable with that idea. And then outside of that, it's going to be interesting to see how things play out.
And one of those guards, Ian, is Emmanuel Quickley, who still hasn't gotten an extension yet. Do you expect that to happen before the season starts, or is he going to become a restricted free agent and then the Knicks will see what his market value is?
Be surprised a little bit if he entered restricted free agency next summer. I would assume that he and the Knicks get something done. He's, to his credit, he has earned a big payday here on this extension. And so I'm assuming he's not giving a hometown discount to the Knicks, nor should he. But I would think that the Knicks want to get something done here because going into that next summer restricted free agency, that's always a tricky proposition. And I would think you would want Emmanuel Quickley feeling good coming into this season. And if there are negotiation issues and training camp and then coming into the year, that's kind of lingering. That's not putting him in the best place to succeed. So I would assume that both sides find a number, find a deal that works for them, and Quickley does get the extension.
And Ian, in terms of Hart at the 4, what do you think about that level of comfort that Tibbs and the organization has? What does it say about Josh Hart that, they're willing to go small? I mean, I remember the first day Josh Hart got here, I think in Tibbs' press conference, he said, you can play some 4. He kind of put that out there from day one. What do you think about them going into camp and being so confident in really going small at the 4 there?
Yeah, look, they extended him. That tells you how confident they are in Josh Hart. And they didn't sign another player to be the backup power forward, another free agent to be the backup power forward. So that tells you that they feel pretty good, I think, about this plan coming in. And what I had heard, and look, things change, right? I'd heard at one point that they saw Hart as like a guy who could set screens all over the floor and then operate out of the short roll, make passes out of the short roll to set people up. And so obviously that's something that they think that he can do, and they feel good about, assuming the plans haven't changed. I think that's what you'll see from Josh Hart at the backup 4 spot.
Once again, we are talking to Ian Begley, Knicks inside of SNY. This is a KFTV Knicks training camp tip-off. So to everybody in the chat, hit that like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. Our guy Ian Begley is in the building. Make sure you support our sponsors, man. Go to manscaped.com. Use promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. And Ian, one of the guys that one of the players on this team that I'm looking forward to seeing in terms of progression, I think a lot of fans as well, is Quentin Grimes. We just saw on Instagram yesterday Quentin Grimes in the lab with JJ Redick working on some movement shooting. I thought that was a lot of the fans were very excited to see that. What do you think about the organization's stance on Grimes, and what are you expecting from Grimes this coming season?
Yeah, progression, right? I think, the shooting being consistent, he showed you that he can knock shots down, right? I think the thing for him, though, is he getting the shots consistently? Are the minutes there? I think one thing, if you look at the numbers, Josh Hart coming, I think that took some attempts away from Quentin Grimes initially. And so how does that dynamic play out? I think if he gets the looks, he gets them consistently, he's going to knock them down. He's shown you that. And defensively, he's going to be who he has been. And so I think the steady progression would be the way I would look at Quentin Grimes coming into the season as far as what you want to see. But I don't we talk about the guards, right? Is he going to be on the floor in closing minutes?
Right.
Is he going to have the ball in his hands as far as shot attempts? It's something that you watch night in and night out. And for a guy like Grimes, I think, getting those shots consistently is important. He's a shooter. You want to be in rhythm. So it's going to be interesting to see how often he gets the ball, how often he gets open looks beyond the perimeter.
For Grimes, Ian, do you think he's going to be starting? Because I know that's been a big question amongst the fan base with Dante DiVincenzo coming here, especially Josh Hart, and how he started in the playoffs last year. So what do you think Grimes' outlook is for the starting rotation?
I would assume that he'll be the starting. He'll be in that starting 5. I would assume so because, Thibodeau had so much success with that. Even with Hart coming on here, they had so much success with that lineup in particular, and Grimes playing that role. So I would assume he wouldn't change that. Maybe something happens over the course of training camp or the preseason where it leaves Thibodeau thinking differently. But I think if Grimes is healthy and he is producing the way we've seen him produce, he's going to be starting on opening night.
And Ian, on Mitchell Robinson, my guy, the block nest monster, there was a Yahoo report that came out from Vince Goodwill. This seemed to be just pontificating in terms of what the market value for a guy like a Mitchell Robinson would be. And he came out and said it would maybe be 2 first-round picks. On those reports, Mitch came out and kind of responded to it, just saying that, he's blessed to have what he has and he understands the nature of the business. I mean, is there anything going on with Mitch in the organization from your standpoint, or what's his standing right now?
Let me just clarify one thing, CP. Who did he say that to? He left it on your guys' page, right?
KnicksFanTV, the number one show for the fans by the fans. He did that.
Yeah, and he's done that a few times. And I think that that's a big credit to you guys, man. Guy just going on social media, wanting to share his thoughts. He's sharing his thoughts on your page. I think that's just tip of the cap to you guys. Mitchell Robinson, I don't think so. I think everything that you see, from his trainer, Marcel Scott, I saw those comments. I don't think it's leading to them saying, all right, we have to move on from Mitchell Robinson. I think all that extraneous stuff is so far on the periphery to what he actually brings on the floor and how important he is to this team on the floor, defensively, cleaning up things around the rim. And, you saw him dominate that Cleveland series,
Yeah.
dominated the Cleveland series. Wasn't the same against Miami, different against different lineups and different teams' personnel, but just flat out dominated Cleveland. And so I don't think that there's any reason to believe that anything is kind of icy or there's bad blood now between the organization and Robinson.
Now, Ian, what do you think the Knicks? What do you think the Knicks stand in the East? Because we talked about earlier in the show, Bucks got Dame, Celtics got Jrue. You also got KP this offseason. You said those guys are in tier 1 in the East. So where are the Knicks? Where do you see them ending up when the season's all said and done, after the regular season's over, that is?
Yeah, to me, I'm not good with the crystal ball, but I'll just say they have to be right there in that second tier. They have to be, leading that second tier, right there at the top of that second tier to me, because you want to take a step forward from 47 wins last year. You want to take a step forward from the first round success you had last year. Winning the second round seems, depending on the draw, seems like it's going to be pretty tough in the East with Boston and Milwaukee, assuming they're healthy. But I think it's important for them to win, a few more games or be right around 47, and then to have a really strong showing in that second round of the postseason. Let's say if you're playing a Boston or Milwaukee, to make it tough for those guys in terms of, because then you could say, hey, we're showing continued progress here 2 years in a row where we're moving in the right direction. I think that's what the Knicks will be looking for here. Any regression, any step back, anything goes sideways, I think it's going to lead to a lot of questions, as it always does.
And follow up, how do you think Tom Thibodeau is going to be graded on this season? Is it going to be based on how many wins the Knicks win during the regular season, or is it going to be based on, do they win a second round playoff matchup, or is just getting to the second round enough for Tom Thibodeau to still be in good graces with the front office?
Yeah, I think he'll always, be in good graces with Leon Rose. But I think if, let's say they underperform in the regular, my answer is I think it's everything, right? But if they underperform in the regular season and there's issues that show up at some point in the season and they linger and Tom Thibodeau can't figure out a way to nip them in the bud, he'll be judged on that. The playoffs, it depends on, I think, who they play and how the teams play in the regular season. If it's clear that, Milwaukee's this, 55, 58 win juggernaut, or if Boston is the same, and it's clear that they're head and shoulders above the Knicks, I think the Knicks just need to have a really good showing in that second round if those are one of the teams they're matched up with, in order to, keep the waters calm over there at the Garden when you're talking about the head coach.
True indeed, man. I want to get one quick call in real quick. Salute to my guy Ari on the Discord. Gotta hear from Ari, man. This is Sunday night. Let's get to Ari. Ari, let's go, man.
Salute, CP,
There we
Alex,
go. Yep.
Begley, big fan, looking like a young Bradley Cooper. Salute to you. All right, Begley, I got a question for you.
Yeah, Ari, what's up, man?
What's up, man? So my question to you is, I'm 36 years old, and throughout my entire life, the Knicks have never went through a full rebuild where they invested multiple years in drafting and developing talent and building assets and things of that nature. If you ask me, the number one reason why the Knicks haven't won anything is because of premature win now moves. And my question to you, Begley, is, do you think James Dolan and the front office have a mandate to just make the playoffs and focus on the playoffs as opposed to building a real contender through patience and draft development? And if so, do you think the financial incentives of a publicly traded corporation play into that? Just make the playoffs, don't be a laughing stock, and make it interesting, and the fan base will eat it all up. Salute to you guys, and thank you for the call.
Yeah, all right, that's a good question, especially when you talk about the financials, right? Publicly traded company, that NBA teams make money when they make the playoffs. And also the Knicks, their policy has been, I don't know if it's still in place, their policy had been to keep ticket prices kind of close to where they are, unless they make the playoffs, and then they'll raise the ticket prices. So there's a lot that's tied in financially to the Knicks making the playoffs. But I think look, I'd go back to Phil Jackson, right, with Jim Dolan. And then Dolan has made many missteps. There's been many self-inflicted wounds in my mind with Jim Dolan as the owner. But you go back to Phil Jackson, his thing back then was whatever Phil wants to do, Phil could do. Like if he wants to trade everybody, start over, he could do it. And I think Steve Mills had the same latitude where if he wanted to just slow play it and build the way Ari said through the draft, I think he had the freedom to do that early on. Leon Rose, I think once you hire Tom Thibodeau, that idea is out the window because Thibodeau is a win now coach. So I assume Rose had the same freedoms. I don't think Jim Dolan told him, hey, you got to win because we have to make the playoffs to make some money because we're a publicly traded company. No, I think he had the same freedoms early on to take it in whatever direction he wanted to take it in. Once you hire Thibodeau, and then once you have that season, year one, surprising everybody the way they did, the idea that you're going to then build through the draft, I think is a closed door. So, Ari, if you're waiting for a regime to do that, I don't think it's going to happen. Obviously, under Leon Rose, you want to see that happen, and it's going to be under whatever the next regime is, if that comes to pass.
Yeah, I just don't see it, man. I don't get he just wants to make money and not win. He may not have made the greatest decisions over time. We've seen it. Obviously, the evidence is there, but I just don't see it. For a guy to have a reputation as being a meddler, to say that he doesn't care and that he just wants to make money, I just don't see it, man. And I even look at the article that they did on him on the Times and about the Sphere, and how much he wants that to go well. I think he would love to see himself as a winning owner of a championship team, just as a guy who is mindful of his reputation and tries his hardest to to keep a positive public image. I just don't see it, man. But
One thing though, I will say, just talking to people who have been kind of in and out through the Knicks and even there now, like wherever a team is in its rebuild process, building process, he's inquisitive. He wants to know about the process, and he wants you to win. Like, not saying that he wants a team that's coming off a 10-win season to go ahead and make the playoffs or win the finals. But if you've shown that you can win games, he wants to see improvement. And so I think that's where things sit with the owner. Now, maybe with the Sphere being such a big piece of his plate, maybe he's not around the Knicks as much. It sounded like he's going to be in Las Vegas more and maybe not at Knicks games night in and night out. I don't know what that means, if it means anything at all, but it's just going to be a difference at the Garden this year if his presence isn't there night in and night out and he's out in Vegas.
I mean, that Sphere looks awesome. I mean, they had U2 out there, and just the images were insane.
Yeah. Last question for you, Ian. Media Days tomorrow. You guys are back in the building for that one. Is there any question that you're most looking forward to having answered by a player, by a coach?
The ones that I'm curious about are, and it's weird, you never ask a question about this, right? No one cares when a player switches agencies. But with Julius Randle leaving CAA, I'm just curious about that. Like, I just want to hear more about it, hear what his thinking is. And again, you never really talk to players about this, but given the context of everything with the Knicks and CAA, I'm fascinated by that one. I want to know if Evan Fournier comes to camp, if he comes to media day. That's the other thing that I'm looking at as far as just kind of topics top of mind for me. Basketball wise, you're not going to hear a lot about their plans and who they see in the rotation, out of the rotation, where the big competition is. You're not going to hear a lot about that tomorrow. So those are the two ones that I'm really curious about.
All right, man. Well, we'll be tapped in. We're going to digest and react to it all, man. So good luck tomorrow. Good luck at training camp down at the Citadel. And we'll tap in shortly, man. Thanks again for your time. We definitely appreciate it.
Sounds good, fellas. Always great to be with you guys. And looking forward to a fun season.
Absolutely, man. Ian, have a great week.
Have a good one, Ian.
All right, that was our guy, Ian Begley, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Hit that like button Hit that share button. Subscribe to the channel, man. KFTV tip-off week is among us. CP the Fanchise, Alex Chataros on the ones and twos. Let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. And Al, just in luck, the Jets just scored.
Let's go, baby.
All right. So they might not be the most inept team in the NFL after all.
You're going to watch me go on a complete tilt if the Jets win this game and defeat the Chiefs.
Good job, man. Good job. I'm happy for you, my guy. Yeah,
Hopefully the Giants can win tomorrow, man. That way you enjoy going down to Miami to watch them play.
I hope so, man. They need to. Salute to everybody in the chat, man. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Al, I'm hyped, man. I don't care what the Bucks are doing. I don't care what the Celtics are doing. It is time. It is time, man. You know, we've been working on the offseason. Shout out to the NBA Report. Shout out to the NBA Report at Team NBA Report on YouTube. But KFTV's been rocking all summer as well, man. We've been rocking all summer, man. We went from Mr. Vegas to the Datacaster, and now we're back. You know what I mean? This thing is taking on a life of its own.
New Alex? You forgot New Alex.
New Alex.
Alex at one
the
point?
new Alex. That's right. That's right, man. So you've changed 4 different times since the offseason kicked off, man. So now we're back.
And now I'm back with the beer. You know, had to freshen up, do little things. You know, you explore yourself in the offseason.
Just a little transformation, man. Just a little transformation. Support our sponsors once again, ladies and gentlemen. Manscaped.com, promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. Back to the phones we go, man. Let's hear from my guy Jay from East New York. Jay, talk to us, man. How you feeling, man? How you feeling about that interview, man? Talk to us. Let's go. Jay, going once. We don't have him. Damn. I threw him to alley, and there was nobody there, bro.
Nobody
there. All right. Area code 443. Area code 443. What's your name? Where are you calling in from?
CP Alex is Ron from Baltimore.
There he is. He's ready. He's ready.
Here
He's ready. We're getting ready for the season, man. That's what it is. Yeah.
This is my trial run. I do the one call before the season to make sure that my phone's working.
There you
go. I call you the whole year.
Yep, tune it up. Just tune it up.
CP, did you have a good off season?
I did. I enjoyed it, man.
Okay.
I definitely enjoyed it. You know,
I hope you got some rest.
Yeah, right. I tried, but it's all good.
Good, man. Well, I'm looking forward to the year. You know, I mean, Game 6 was hard. I finally got over it. It took me. I watched it 3 times, but I'm finally over it. You know, Brunson, he put up 41. We did the best. It was a fun year. You know, I know we didn't shoot well. You know, Randall was 3 for 14. Barrett was 1 for 10. Quentin Grimes was 1 for 6. But it was their first experience together. You know, they're young players. They fought the heat. Had they have won that game, it is what it is, CP. I'm moving on.
Okay.
I'm proud of the team and what they did last year. My thing with Jrue Holiday is this. I agree. It was too much. You know, I would have explored an RJ potential deal, and I know RJ's younger, but Jrue Holiday is an all-star. I have a lot of respect for Jrue. I would have probably explored it if we're talking maybe 1 or 2 picks in RJ, but that's fine. You know, Boston gave him too much. I would not have dealt Quickley and Mitchell Robinson in picks. I'm not doing that.
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
So I'm not doing that, CB. So what we're going to do is we're what we always do with the Knicks. We're going to grind now. You know, when I say not what we always do, but with Tibbs, we're just going to build it the way we should. We're just going to grind this whole season, prove that last year wasn't a fluke, and it wasn't a fluke. I think you know, Leon is just waiting, like you said to Ian, being patient. Maybe Embiid is the right guy. I don't know. All I know is let's just see how the first few months work out. Let's see where we are. There's always going to be another guy that does become available that we don't even know. I believe that, CP. I believe in karma. So the last thing I'll leave you with this. My only ask to Julius Randle is once we get to the playoffs, stay healthy, and I need you to perform for me, and I think we can win the championship. Thanks very much.
Okay. Appreciate the call, man. Appreciate the call.
All right.
So our guy, Ron from B More. Shout out to Ron, man.
And CP, guess what? The Jets just tied it 20-20.
I see that. They are they're doing a damn thing, man. I like that. I definitely like that. Shout out to the Jets, man. 917, what's your name? Where you calling in from?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Benji. How you guys doing?
Benji in the building, man. Benji, how you feeling, bro?
What's up, guys?
Good.
Congrats again Stratocaster. Anyway, man, I think Mahomes and Wilson did like a little body switch thing, like a Freaky Friday type of deal.
I'm liking these Jets
play
unis
like
too, man. Throwbacks. They got the throwbacks on and playing with some heart. I like that.
Thank God for once. Woody Johnson did something right with the unis.
Yeah.
I know, it's crazy, man. Just wanted to say, like Ron from Baltimore said, I would not do that IQ and Mitch deal. So
It's
I think
not
it was smart for us
the
to
time.
abstain.
Like he's 33, and then what? You know, he's got 1 year plus a 1 year player option. And then what? Now you're gonna sign him until he's 38, 39 while you wait for the next piece? Why would we do that?
I mean, he's a really good player, but I just think, like you said, man, it wasn't on the right timeline for us. So just smart to just keep staying patient, man, and just keep waiting for something.
The thing is that, look, I get it, man. Everybody wants to be invited to the barbecue. We're tired of the prognosticator saying, now's the time for the Knicks, now's the time for the Knicks, and they're sitting on their hands. I get it. I get the frustration. But you got to think. You got to think here. The Boston needed him. They're in championship win now mode. We're hoping and praying to get there. I don't think he's putting us any closer without that guy. Go ahead.
Totally hear that, man. Love the show. So excited for next Monday.
Yeah, man.
I'll be in the building, and let's just see what we do, man. But like I said, my biggest concern is how we're going to split up the minutes for those four guards, man.
Yeah,
that's Tibbs has a lot of work cut out for him.
Something to pay attention to. Absolutely. Thanks for the call, man. Good to see you, man. Good to hear from you, man.
Okay. Thanks, man.
Benji from Manhattan now. We getting the regulars, man. Ron from Baltimore's on. Benji from Manhattan's on.
I know,
Sunday
man.
night. It's a Sunday night. Thank God the Giants didn't play and lose, so I'm actually in a better mood. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking forward to those, man. Those Giants-Knicks Sunday doubleheaders.
Oof.
Those are tough. Those are tough to get through if you got to get through two losses in a full day.
I know, man. I've been a Jets fan for a while.
I know, yeah. You know it all too well. You know it very well. Yeah,
I totally get it. But you know what? I just want to say on the whole Jrue Holiday thing. You know, I shared my rationale for not getting Jrue Holiday on IG, and I got a lot of pushback, man. I got a lot of pushback. People saying we have to go after somebody who's available.
Yeah.
Like everyone's upset that we just keep waiting. As we discussed with Ian, it's like it's funny because the response was typical Knicks fan being a homer and trusting and liking everybody that we have, and I'm like, isn't the typical Knicks fan also someone who wants to go trade for somebody? It's so funny when we use typical Knicks fan because there's a whole wide range of what Knicks fans want and how we all think. But I just don't understand why just anyone becomes available and we have to go get somebody who becomes available without thinking, you know, how much does it cost to go get somebody? What's the timeline for this guy?
Some people just want to be involved. You know, some people just want to be liked. We can't do that, ladies and gentlemen.
It's just insane, man. It's like I get it. And people think I'm like I'm dogging Jrue Holiday because I'm like, oh,
no, of course
look
not.
at his postseason numbers, and it's like, I like Jrue Holiday as a player, awesome two-way player, but the postseason numbers speak for themselves.
Speaks for itself.
Speak for themselves, unfortunately, man.
Let's hear from some more folks on the lines. Oh, it's getting lit right now. Let's go. Rapid fire. 347-681. What's your name? Where you calling from? Let's go.
Peace and love to the room. How I'm sounding, TP, Alex, how I'm sounding. King Deez in the building.
King Deez, why you not on the Discord, man? You've been Discord consistent for a little while, man. What's going on?
I know. I had to do a real rapid fire for y'all, man. Listen, I know a lot of people are down on Jrue Holiday, but who cares? He went to the Celtics and not the Heat.
Yeah.
They're like the Celtics and the Bucks. They were always going to be the two superpowers. And I saw what you wrote early on Twitter, CP. I'm in full agreement, man. Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for Philadelphia to light on fire, man. Let's rock out with the team that we got right now. Whatever we need, we figure that out during the trade deadline, whether it's a little missing wing or whatever. Mm-hmm. We figure that out then and there. But watch the city of Philadelphia burn, man. It's no coincidence that Joel Embiid said what he said. So let's enjoy the season. The honeymoon is over. We're getting serious now. It's serious time. King Deez gonna stick around. Peace and love.
King Deez on the check-in. Salute to King Deez, man. Jay from East New York. If you see you're closing tonight, man. So be ready. Just let me know in the chat. Send me a message in the chat. Just let me know that you're ready on the Discord. 646. What's your name? Where you calling in from? Oh, this got a little static.
Yo.
Oh, this guy's not ready. Are you on speaker? Hello.
Worldwide West calling, my bad.
Yeah, Wes, you got it. No
How y'all
speakerphone, no
doing, Alex?
Bluetooth.
Congratulations. No more speaker. Congratulations, Alex. CP, how's it going?
Good, man. How you
Get
feel,
right
bro?
into it.
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right. So, yeah, the team has to do their due diligence and look at Jrue Holiday, but you're not giving up any of our young players to get Jrue Holiday, 33-year-old. So let's just be realistic. And like you said, that can't be your first move. What the front office has to do, we have to sit on our hands right now. We have to just sit tight and wait for the first real starter, real difference maker to shake loose, and then that's when we pounce on it. Until then, we continue to build the team incrementally.
Yeah.
We continue to allow our players to develop, and hopefully, as they develop, we'll become a better team, right? If the players from within get better each year, they'll perform better in the playoffs, and then we'll go further, right? Mm-hmm. Right now, coming into the season, we weren't projected to be better than Boston or Milwaukee. So really, realistically, nothing has changed for the Knicks, right? Maybe it's just going to be even more challenging to jump over that hurdle. But, to me, the Celtics are a little bit overrated. You got an injury-prone KP. You got old Al Horford and, Jaylen Brown and Tatum. They've been a little bit shaky in the playoffs other than the year that they went to the finals. And I don't know, man. Everybody's indoctrinating the Bucks as being the title favorites. I don't see that. Dame, his defense is really shaky. Right, and he usually misses between 15 to 25 games almost every year. Mm-hmm. Right, Giannis, he can't shoot free throws in the clutch. He's a great player. Don't get me wrong. I'm not doubting these guys, but they're not the Golden State Warriors. They're not the Miami Heat of 2010. These teams can be beat.
You got to play championship caliber defense for sure.
Absolutely, especially chemistry. A lot of times can supplement for not having stars. Yeah. And the fact that we've had our roster together for 4 years and we're going to continue to grow as a team, as a unit, our chemistry, you can't downplay the fact that our players are going to become more and more familiar with each other.
Okay.
My question to you guys is, if a guy like Paul George or Donovan Mitchell become available again, are they good enough caliber to throw in all the picks into the ring and try and make a move, or do we have to wait for an Embiid, Giannis, a higher caliber star?
Yeah.
I want to know what you guys feel about that. Is Donovan Mitchell a good enough player? Does he even fit? I really like Donovan. And
I think they would try to get. I think they would try to get both. Not Spider and Paul George. I appreciate the call, bro. Not Spider and Paul George. I think they would try to get Spider and Embiid. That's just me.
Yeah. Look. Shout out to Gerard B in the chat. He asked me, Alex, who's the right person? And when we discussed the Paul George rumors, I was all for going after Paul George if the price is right, based on how his contract, a year rental, year 1 or 2 year rental, I forget what his contract looks like. Go after him. Joel Embiid's another player I would be cool going after. We discussed Giannis. Obviously, would go after Giannis, but I'm looking for guys who are really going to put us into that next tier, right? Jrue doesn't put us into that next tier. That's why I'm like, we're okay. We're okay where we are. And like you said, CP, when we had John on the show, it's like you add Jrue when you get somebody like Embiid, when you get somebody like Giannis. I'm cool with that. But I'm looking for the big fish. I'm looking at Embiid right now, man. Even if let's also look at Phoenix too. Phoenix right now, they're title contenders. If things go haywire, right? Kevin Durant's known to miss time. Bradley Beal is known to miss time. If it doesn't work out there, does Booker shake loose? I know this is all big dream stuff.
Yeah, I'm done dreaming, man. Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you what I saw yesterday. That boy Quentin Grimes is in the lab right now. Grimes Hive, stand up. Grimes Hive, stand up. He's in the lab right now. He was with Penny. He's been with JJ Redick. He's getting his game tight. I'm telling you, he's coming. He's ready to go. Pause. He's ready to roll come training camp. Quentin Grimes, ladies and gentlemen, my breakout candidate of the year. I'm saying it early. We didn't even get to our superlatives yet. We'll get to that later on in the preseason. But I'm telling you right now, Quentin Grimes.
Pauses are in full effect. We got the regulars calling
I'm ready.
KFTV, KFTV is in full
regular season mode. I'm in regular season mode,
baby.
man.
Let's go.
Yeah, no flagrant threes. I'm in regular season mode, man. I'm catching them quick, fast, and in a hurry. Quentin Grimes. Shout out to the Rhyme Animal Chuck D in the chat, man. Shout out to our Fanchise channel members in the chat. Eric Beats. Shout out to Ari, man. Russell Whiskey. Ignacio Lobregat in here. How we feeling? Nick, how you feeling? Flyboy Kevin here. Let's go. Rick Pennington, let's go. Bees Noriega, I see, man. We're in here heavy out. Over 1,000 in the chat. We are getting ready, man. How you feel about Grimes in the lab, man?
I think he has another gear, man. Every time we talk about Quentin Grimes, I feel like there is another level we have not. He just needs more touches, man.
JJ's giving him the secrets.
More touches.
He's giving him the secrets. Giving the ball.
I believe he could be. Part of me believes he could be that third option on this team if given enough touches. All right, I believe that could be Quentin Grimes. Like, let him work, let him get his game up, let him have a little bit more responsibility, shooting off the dribble, get that mid range going. If he can if he can shoot off movement, coming off screens, oh my God, that's a game changer. Absolute game changer. Look, the ceiling being a 3D ball player, he's already reached that in year 2.
Yeah,
year 2.
Ceiling is the roof, man. Ceiling is the roof.
There's a lot of potential.
419. What's your name? Where you calling in from? Rapid fire. Let's go.
Yo, what's poppin', CP? This is Joe from Ohio.
Joe from Ohio. How you feeling, man?
I'm good, dog. I'm good. It's been a minute, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always want to show love. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing your thing.
Appreciate it.
First and foremost, dog, I've been listening to this pod for a minute now, for a couple of years, and I like to see that you back getting the pause stuff ready. You know what I'm saying? Got to set the template, get ready for the season. You know I feel like you got a little lax.
Wait, the what stuff? Oh, the pause. Yes. You know, when you're in the off season, you might get crossed up a little bit. You know, not like an AI crossover, maybe like a little Andre Miller joint. You know what I mean? Just you might get caught. You might get caught.
Too flagrant.
Yeah,
exactly. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't getting out of control. It was just like, you know what I'm saying, tighten up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back to it.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna hold you, dog. Keep it a bean. I don't think that we really in a place to fully contend with the big dogs, you know what I'm saying? But we're still in the playoffs. We're going to be a Hart out in 6. You get what I'm saying? Or Hart out in 5. We're going to give somebody problems in that nature. But I think that if these dudes keep growing, I think next year probably when Embiid, I'm on this Embiid train, bro. Pause, no homo. But when that Embiid thing is just going, I'm pretty sure we're going to be ready to be able to let go of a Dante, or RJ, or Q Dot to be able to bring them in. Because if you look at these big dog trades, you're letting go of a number 2 or number 3 type of player, including picks, to be able to get the star in.
For sure.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And our 3 players, I think that hopefully with next season they'll be able to show like, yo, like. They can get 16. They can be a helpful for a winner, and then bring them in. So
sounds good,
I'm
man.
Embiid all the way. I really don't think it's nobody else to come in, and hopefully we'll be able to get them.
Appreciate the call. You too, man. Joe from Ohio in the building. All right, let's wrap it up. Jay from East New York, go ahead and I'll mute your mic. Let's go. Oh man,
fellas, y'all can hear me
loud and clear. There you go. There you go.
Okay. I ain't gonna even lie, y'all. Yeah. You know y'all my boys, man. But my question was for Ian Begley,
I figured as much, man. We were running tight on time,
I'm gonna still ask the question though. Okay. So the question that I had pertaining to the Knicks making a superstar trade, I was gonna say I feel like Embiid, Donovan Mitchell, and possibly even Karl-Anthony Towns may be on the Knicks radar. So I was gonna ask Ian, like basically like cold, lukewarm, hot, who would he say out of those 3 the Knicks would go after? So I'm going to ask you guys that. But really quickly, I just wanted to give a real quick take. I'm actually happy that the Knicks didn't make a move like trade IQ and Mitch plus picks for a Jrue Holiday. You know what I'm saying? It's just not a move you do. I'm not always in agreement with some of the things that the front office does, but I do believe that they kind of be impatient for the right reasons at times. You know what I'm saying? But the Knicks fan base is ready for a star. So I don't know which star they're going to go after, but I hope that the Knicks make a move. Even if they swing and they miss. You know what I'm saying? Really go after somebody because that's what the fans want. We want another star to pair with Jalen Brunson and move on from there. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to you guys. I appreciate you. I'm going to land my plane.
Appreciate it, man. Jay from East New York in the building. I'll say Cat cold because I want it to be cold. I'll say
no
Embiid lukewarm. I say Spider hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
What do you think?
I agree with that order.
Yeah.
I think the thing with Embiid is what we discussed is, will Daryl Morey trade him to the Knicks? The Knicks have a war chest. Does Daryl Morey want that war chest is the question. And who are the players that you send out to Philadelphia?
He's not trading him to the Knicks, bro. I just don't see it. I have a hard time seeing that.
I mean, it's not uncommon. I mean, we've seen teams trade within the division. We saw the Nets and the Celtics trade within the division. It's not impossible.
It's there. All right.
But, he's not available.
Yeah.
I would expect everybody to be involved if Joel Embiid does become available. But, there are teams who are ready to go to that next level, and there are teams who are still trying to rebuild. So we gotta wait, man. But I'd like to see the Knicks just, if there's any player right now, just realistically, because Giannis, you already got Dame. I want to see the Knicks try to go all in to go get Joel Embiid if he becomes available. I feel like a Brunson Embiid pick and roll would be insane.
Box office.
It would just be insane to watch.
Yeah. Box office, man. Good stuff, bro. Great show. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Salute to the Rhyme Animal, Chuck D. Al $5 super chat says Grimes, IQ, RJ. Familiarity is chemistry. Oh, Brees Hall just rips one off. Grimes, IQ, RJ. Familiarity is chemistry. Dante Adams will be a good Inferno. My concern is Julius's backup. Is it iHeart? Is it Sims? We win 50-32 with playoff intensity. Shout out to the Rhyme Animal, Chuck D, man. That's gonna be a question mark, man. How do they play it out at the 4? We're gonna have to wait and see. Gonna have to wait and see how that plays out. Very intrigued by that. Shout out to Edward Flood, Al. He just joined the loyal Fanchise channel members, man. So we are growing by the day. So to all of our supporters. And we definitely appreciate you guys, man. Definitely appreciate you guys. Remember that this show is available in audio podcast format, man. No reason to miss it. Catch us on all the major podcast platforms. Also, go to manscaped.com. Use promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. Shout out to our friends at Manscaped. Al, we should be getting our deliveries this week. I know CK got his. I received confirmation. CK got his.
Let's go.
So we should be getting ours later this week. So make sure you guys look out for that. I got another big announcement coming up this week as well. So make sure you guys tap in. And I'll just drop a little hint. It's about the Knicks and it's about the Celtics. Another big announcement coming up. That's all I'll say. Just a little hint. Just a little hint, man. You know what I'm saying? Just a little hint.
Opening night just got that much more intriguing.
Got very intriguing. Man. Either way, man, Al, enjoy these Jets. Let's catch up on the rest of the second half. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that like button, share, subscribe. We're getting into it. Knicks training camp tip-off in the works. CP Fanchise, Alex Taurus, we out of here. Peace.